Hello guys, I'm Devajyoti and I'm a data scientist. Welcome to another video on DJ Tech Talks. So today we are going to continue some more on data and we are going to learn about some of the characteristics of data. From the next lecture onwards, we will proceed on to data pre-processing. So let us begin for today. Why the characteristics of data are necessary to be understood? Because they in some way influence the computations related to using this data. Suppose one of the characteristics is dimensionality. So dimensionality, as I spoke about last day, it is the number of attributes that are present in an observation. Basically, the number of columns that are present in the whole data set, you can say it as the dimension of the data set. So how does it influence? As it is very obvious that data set with lesser number of columns is easier to compute rather than a data set with large number of columns, because then we have to deal with large number of data, right? So then it becomes a bit complex and computationally costlier. We often refer to that costly computation in case of dimensionality as the curse of dimensionality, because it's a curse to have more dimension of data, and our target is to reduce the dimension of the data, and we do that in data processing. So we will get to that when we go to data pre-processing stage. Now let us come to sparsity. Sparsity basically means if a data set has more number of zeros and less useful information. Now that can happen due to erroneous collection of data, or less amount of data was available at that point of time. So those attributes are filled with zero. Now that is an advantage to us, because we don't want to use those zeros. So we can easily remove them and reduce our dimension and reduce our data set size, right? So sparsity in a way is benefit to us. However, a very sparse data is not useful to us, because at then we won't be able to find any useful conclusion from the data. So sufficient amount of sparsity is good for us, right? Then we have another characteristics that influence is resolution. So resolution is basically the granularity in which we have collected our data, right? Suppose we have measured the temperature at a decimal of 0.1. So suppose the temperature is measured at 25.1, and you measure another data at a temperature of 25.22. So you know the granularity is different, and then you collect a data with 25. So all they have different resolution, so which is a problematic in case of finding a relationship between the data, right? So in this way resolution affects our data set. So let us now talk about the types of data sets. So these are the measures that fall under the types of data sets, but there are many subcategories of this. But it is okay to understand these first now, and we'll get back to the further subcategories later. So first is record data. So as the name suggests, so it's a kind of data set that is collected as a record, right? Suppose for an example, your personal data like that is collected in some organization or like that. Suppose your income, your gender, your marital status, your tax amount, that is an observation related to a record, right? So those kind of data sets we can say it as a record data. Now comes the transactional data. So basically these kind of data sets fall under are useful in market basket analysis. So they collect the data related to each transactions that happen in a retail store, right? So basically you buy a set of items, so this and they come together as a total transaction. Suppose you buy apple and bread, so this is one transaction that happened. In the next transaction you can buy another two items, so that's another transaction, and the price associated with it. So these kinds of data are basically used in association rule mining that we'll learn later. So they help us to find out which items are frequently bought together with other items. Sorry. So we'll discuss that later when we get to the analysis portions. So then we move to data matrix. So data matrix is a kind of data set where all the items are basically numerical, and the attributes can be said as the dimensions of the data. Like it is a multi-dimensional space data. You can represent it as a multi-dimensional space, right? And this data matrix, since it's numerical, can also be sparse, having zero values, right? And then we have graph-based data. So graph-based data, basically, the data that is there, it can be represented in the form of a graph, or they have a graphical relationship between them. For example, linked web pages. So in web pages, you might have seen, you click a link in a web page and you go to another website from there. So those websites are linked, right? So we can also establish them as form of graphs. So those kind of data are known as graph-based data. And then we have sequential data. So sequential data is, we can also say, is a kind of record data, but we have an added timestamp with it. For sequential data, we have a timestamp added. Okay, for each such transaction observation, we have timestamps added to it. And another thing is time series data, which we often confuse with sequential data. But in time series data, we have the timestamps associated with the observation, but with respect to one particular object. For example, we are given an experiment to measure the temperature of an object after 5 intervals of time. But basically, timestamp is associated, but we are measuring the temperature of the same object. But in sequential data, it is not mandatory. It is the record of the same data. Multiple objects can be there, but timestamp is there. So these tools are not same. In time series data, it's a timestamp based collection, data collection of the same object, right? Yeah. So basically, these were the measures that we covered today. From the next lecture onwards, we will proceed on to data pre-processing, and also I'll give you some coding examples and all. So thank you for watching today's video. See you on the next video. Thank you. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Please do share, subscribe, and like this video, and share with all your friends, so that more and more videos I can create and I can get a motivation out of it. Thank you.